What's going on?
They're taking him to the hospital.
Why?
Because I was trying to figure out what the hell happened. I'm pretty sure he said that he shot me in the back.
Where was she when he said that?
Right there.
That wedding back in February, was that a hotel or a resort or something?
No, so it was some house on the water.
On June 17th, 2023, police officers from the Monroe Sheriff's Office received a distressing call from 44-year-old Jordan Kinn that his roommate was hurt real bad and lying unresponsive inside their apartment in Key West, Florida. Yet, what the officers were about to discover would expose a tale of darkness and depravity beyond anyone's wildest comprehension.
Can I just take a look at your nights? Okay.
Around 3 a.m. that morning, first responders arrived at the home of the incident and found 30-year-old Tyler Newlish in a pool of blood and his 33-year-old girlfriend Brittany Holbrook holding him, crying and in shock. With questions flying about what could have happened to Tyler, police officers wasted no time confronting his roommate for answers.
What's going on?
I got a lot of blood on the floor.
Okay.
She woke me up like half an hour ago, 15 minutes ago. I'm not sure exactly, but I've been sleeping. I don't know exactly what happened.
Okay. So you woke up and saw this?
I heard a scream.
You heard a scream?
She woke me up.
Who woke you up?
My roommate's girlfriend.
Okay.
And he's bleeding from somewhere in his back. I didn't hear a noise. I don't know what exactly happened.
Okay.
But there's a lot of blood on the floor. He's like in and out of consciousness.
But you couldn't see his back. So the scream woke you up, or it woke you?
No, I heard her take on the hall.
So his girlfriend
yelled my name. It's Jordan.
Okay.
Like, please.
Let's go over here.
According to Jordan, he was in the living room sleeping when he was woken by the screams of his roommate's girlfriend. He had then run upstairs only to find Brittany cradling a bleeding, but still alive, Tyler on the floor. However, that wasn't the only thing he claimed he saw.
All right, so this was about 30 minutes ago, you said, right?
I mean, it's probably more like 10. It just happened real fast.
Right, I get it.
I was on the phone. I don't know how long before with 911.
Okay, yeah.
And it was probably maybe 3 minutes before that.
Okay.
When I was woken up.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to put it together, I didn't really realize what was all happening, and I still don't know.
Gotcha.
I just know he was bleeding from somewhere in his back.
Okay. So his girlfriend's, what's his girlfriend's name?
Brittany.
Brittany. So you heard Brittany scream.
Yeah. She yelled, Jordan, please help.
And your name is Jordan?
Yes.
Okay. So Jordan, please help. You come out of your room. And then he just laying there on the ground.
She's holding him, laying on the ground.
She's holding him. Did you see anything around, like a knife, any type of weapon at all?
I'm pretty sure there's a pistol, but I think I would have heard a shot.
There's a pistol?
I'm pretty sure.
Where's the pistol located?
I saw one on the floor when I came out of the room.
You saw a pistol on the floor when you came out of the room?
Yes.
Okay.
But not in the hallway or just right in the living room out in the open. I know he has one, and I'm pretty sure she does, but I didn't hear any shots.
You didn't hear any gunshots?
I have no idea how exactly it happened.
Okay.
It's just,
okay.
I woke it up and I got looked at him and talked to him for like, call it 1 or 2 seconds. He's like, I'm calling 911.
Yeah, no, that was a good thing to do. So you hear the scream from Brittany.
Yes.
You come out. She's saying, Jordan, help. He's laying on the ground. She's holding his head, holding his arm. How's she holding
him by his back, trying to keep him upright a little bit.
So he used to sit him upright?
And I could see nothing on his stomach.
Only the blood was coming from his back?
Somewhere in his back.
But was there a shirt? He had a shirt on?
No, shirt was off.
Could you see the wound on his back or no? She was covering she was holding him up? Gotcha. Okay. But you didn't hear any gunshots? Did you hear any fighting and nothing?
No. There's something happened outside.
Yeah.
Like I was.
Are they known to be violent before? No past at all?
No, I've never had anything weird with them, and I've lived with them for about a year, and I've known both of them for at least a few years.
I gotcha. Do you have your license on you at all?
In my room upstairs.
We'll wait on that. I'll get your.
I have a lighter.
Lighter. Right.
Yeah.
You mind just putting your hands on your head for a second? Just got you down real quick for some safety.
You said the gun was in the hallway or the room?
I saw one when I was on the phone and came out.
Yeah.
She was right in the floor in between him. And I saw some kind of holster.
Okay.
Just right now?
Yep.
Figure out what's going on.
Okay.
As a safety measure, Jordan was placed in handcuffs until officers could figure out what happened. While one officer tried to confirm his identity, other officers searched the apartment, and surprisingly, they discovered a 9mm Smith & Wesson handgun and a spent shell casing on the floor near a dog kennel.
You didn't hear any gunshot, nothing like that?
I had the TV on quite quietly. and half asleep, but I think I would have heard something unusual.
Yeah.
I'm the fisherman and live on a boat half the year. I've heard some weird noises making me out since.
That's all I got for right now, right?
The scene immediately began to tell its own story. Although Jordan had not escaped suspicion, what seemed like a small detail in his story would soon reshape the entire investigation. Yet, his account of hearing screams and not gunshots still didn't bring the officers any closer to understanding what truly happened that night. The deputies then had only one option left: talk to Tyler's girlfriend, who was living with him.
So what happened?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I went to sleep. I don't know.
Why don't you take a seat over there?
Papa, 37B MMP.
Did you hear a gunshot?
No.
Huh?
No. I went to sleep.
You went to sleep?
Oh my God.
You went to sleep and what happened?
I went to sleep.
Okay, and then you woke up?
I woke up.
Okay, and what did you see? This? Just him laying on the floor? Bleeding? Okay.
Is he okay?
I have no idea what's going on.
Brittany was devastated, but strangely, just like Jordan, she denied having knowledge of what could have happened to her boyfriend. It was almost as if the duo were clinging to the same story, one that didn't quite add up.
Who is he to you?
That's my boyfriend.
That's your boyfriend, and who's that?
My roommate.
Your roommate? Okay. And how long have you all been living together?
9 months.
9 months. How long have you known him for?
2 years.
2 years. Alright. So you known him for 2 years. You've been dating for how long?
9 months.
9 months. So you've been living here for 9 months and you... What's it called? So you were asleep. What made you get up? Did you hear something?
I don't know.
You just woke up.
I don't know.
Okay. Was anybody else in the house besides your roommate or?
I don't know.
Don't know. Okay. What time did you go to sleep? Don't know. Okay.
Of course, there was a slight chance the shock, exhaustion, and confusion left her in no state to remember what had happened clearly.
What's going on?
They're taking him to the hospital.
Why?
Because he was bleeding.
Unfortunately, the paramedics weren't able to resuscitate her boyfriend. When Tyler was transported to Lower Keys Medical Center, he succumbed to his injuries and was pronounced dead at 3:46 a.m. Tyler had been shot in the lower back, and immediately, the case was declared a homicide. The following day, the investigation was in full effect, and detectives arrived on the scene, wasting no time confronting Jordan.
Well, so we want to ask you about what happened last night.
Yep.
Before we do that, this is just the basics that we need to make sure that you understand.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to read them to you.
Okay.
All right.
After taking the necessary precaution of explaining his Miranda rights, the detective began probing about the events of last night.
What time did you get home last night?
Probably still light out. 7 o'clock, probably.
When you got home, was the rest of neighbors home? Upstairs, downstairs?
I don't know if they were or not. They're kind of keep to ourselves, and I don't really see when they come and go. I'm assuming they were there because they got a young daughter, I'm pretty sure too, so they're usually more of a, you know.
Were your roommates upstairs home?
We were all downstairs until probably 10:30 is probably when I went up and started watching TV, something like that.
So you got home at 7 and just hung out on the patio there underneath the stilts?
Yeah.
Were you guys all drinking?
Yeah.
How much do you think you guys had?
I mean, I can't speak for them. I don't think. I know Tyler had maybe 5 or 6 beers. I probably had a little more because when I was working on the boat earlier in the day. But I definitely less than 8.
Kind of
And her, I don't know.
Is that average for you guys?
I mean, for me, similar, but for him, no, not as often.
Yeah. How often does he drink?
It's probably been a couple weeks. He's had a really bad cold, so I know he hasn't for at least a couple weeks, I guess.
Jordan claimed the night had gone like every other night. They returned from work, had a few drinks, and went to bed just after 10 p.m. But his story created a much larger question. If nothing seemed out of the ordinary, what could have caused everything to spiral out of control in less than 5 hours?
Do they have any problems? How's the relationship?
I mean, it's usually pretty good, but they definitely have their little issues here and there.
You remember what the latest issue was?
I don't know what causes it usually, besides usually the drinking mixed between the two of them. It's usually her side more than his. Like, I'm not like pointing fingers forever, but that just, like, since I've lived with them, I maybe saw like 3 somewhat yelling arguments, like nothing physical ever. Like, but there was one other time where, like, she woke me up in the middle of the night, similar to this, but obviously just nothing had happened, you know? And it had nothing to do with him. She was just out of her mind that night, and like, nothing bad happened. I kind of just took it as a wash, and like, we talked about it the next day, and it was like a joke or a broken cell phone that I think she threw his or vice versa. I forget exactly. I didn't really see it. I just heard it. But that was normally it's perfect, you know?
When you said she was out of her mind that night, what do you mean? Like,
just certain people that drink seem to not handle it as well, or whether it's a long day of drinking and the two of them both drinking together all day, I just sense, you know, just out of her mind as in not normal herself. They're like not functioning properly, just not making sense talking, stuff like that.
You think that the alcohol, or you think there's something else going on?
No, I think it's probably mostly the alcohol. Because the only time it's like when they go out on the little boat and they're out together the whole day on a weekend, and then they come back and drink a little bit here, and I feel like that whole day thing is just no good.
Yeah, all day out drinking in the sun on the boat, and come back and keep going.
Yep.
Jordan revealed that although Brittany had a drinking problem, he'd always known the couple to be peaceful and loving. However, as he continued to describe what happened that night, he soon revealed something that would completely shift the direction of the investigation.
So when you got home last night, were they downstairs already?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And they were already drinking?
She was, he wasn't.
How was the mood when you
Great.
walked home?
It was great. Everybody was getting along fine. I felt like it was a normal good night, you know?
You were downstairs drinking until what time about?
I'd say around 10:30ish was my guess. And I went and watched a couple episodes of TV, and I was pretty well asleep when I heard her screaming, and she's the one who woke me up. And I don't know how to even picture it. It just makes me sick. I can't say what happened because I don't know. But he was coherent here when I came by him. And I just never seen the blood, and it's just, I saw a pistol. I don't even know what happened. I just saw a lot of blood. But I did see a gun sitting there in a holster, which I'm pretty sure was his. I never heard the shot. If that's what happened, I didn't get woken up by that. I got woken up by her yelling, and instantly I tried to look at him in the face, and that's when I called 911. I didn't know what happened, so I couldn't see anything on the front side. I might have saw the blood around him. So I knew there was something in the backside, you know. And the little bit I got out of him, I didn't see it. I don't know what happened, but I heard him say that bitch shot me in the back. Mumbled it. I didn't, you know, a lot of it happened fast, and I was on the phone with the lady from 911. And then I carried both the dogs from downstairs and put them in the room because they were freaking out, you know. And they're both hound dogs, they're loyal and nice dogs, but and from there, I stayed downstairs once everybody got here, more or less.
When you left to go upstairs last night, how was the mood then?
I say the mood was perfect. I didn't notice anything weird, and I can usually sense if it's a little, because I'll just avoid myself in situations like that. And I didn't sense anything weird.
And when you were sitting inside watching TV, did you hear anything downstairs?
No. Everything was quiet until I heard raining. but I was also, I'd probably fallen asleep maybe. Yeah, but it's like, I didn't see nothing. I just know what he said because I was trying to figure out what the hell happened. I'm pretty sure he said that and shot me in the back.
Where was she when he said that?
Right there.
Did you notice anything about her? And how long after he made that statement did the first patrol guys show up?
Minute to 2 minutes. It was right when I was on the phone.
Did he say anything else? Was he still?
No, he did say one other thing. It's, like when I first said, like, Tyler, what happened? He's like, just call 911. And that's what I called. And then he said the other part. But
Jordan appeared genuinely shaken, his voice trembling as he recounted the night's events. So far, his story and demeanor had aligned perfectly, leaving only one person unaccounted for.
You've been laying on that beanbag and just hanging out the whole time? Have you talked to her about anything or tried to?
Well, today, no, absolutely nothing. I just don't know what he even think. Like, he's one of my best friends, and she was a girlfriend, you know? I just don't know what to think.
Do you know where they met?
At this point, the detectives began to narrow down the possibilities of what had happened in the room, but still had no idea what to expect from their remaining suspect. Before leaving Jordan, there was one thing he needed to hear, the kind of news that changes a person forever.
I got in trouble enough when I was a kid, and it's been 15 years since I had handcuffs on me until tonight.
Has anyone here told you about your buddy?
No, I've been asking, but no.
Sorry to tell you, he passed away.
Oh my. I had a feeling that's why they weren't saying that.
Does it seem something completely out of character for her?
I think it's out of character. Everybody I've ever hung out with him would consider a reasonable human being.
Well, I agree with that.
Makes sense, you know? So yeah, I'd say it's way out of character. If what I think happened, I don't know.
Putting together the story in your head, I'm sure you've been going over it over and over since the past 5 hours.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
Not a whole lot. I don't see it coming out and getting to that level. But I don't see it being an accident where something just got dropped on the ground and somehow went off. And what he told me, I mean,
how solid are the walls inside? Like, do you hear stuff if you're inside sleeping?
I mean, I can hear the dogs.
As soon as the detectives were done with Jordan, they went into the apartment to confront Brittany Holbrook. As she was the only witness able to provide a first-hand account of the events, they knew that Brittany's dazed mind held the knowledge that would prove key to understanding the tragic death of Tyler Newlish, and the piece of information given by the friend puts her in a really bad light detectives will try to figure out was right or not.
Detective Costa, come up to the sheriff's office. Detective McNally. We're just trying to gather some information about what happened. So we got a couple of questions. Before we start asking these questions, we got some stuff we have to read to you. I'm sure you're watching on our Dayline back in the day. All right.
Tyler's not alive.
But before we can talk much more about what happened, we have to read this to you to make sure that you understand it, okay? Before you ask any questions, you must understand the following events.
By telling Brittany right away that Tyler was dead, the detective stripped away any chance of denial or confusion, forcing her to confront the harsh reality before a single question was asked. She was subsequently advised of her rights, but the detectives were still far from realizing the kind of person they were truly dealing with.
Childhood, power, higher, rental, location on the capital.
Were you working yesterday?
Yeah, nice.
About what time did you get home from work?
Let's see, I need to get those before I was walking, so maybe like 5:30.
When you got home, who else was home?
Tyler at home like about 5 minutes after.
And when did Jordan get back?
another hour or two later or something.
So when you and Tyler got back, what were you guys hanging out at? What were you guys doing?
We were relaxing, absorbing AC. Tyler was like giving me massages after work, so he had me put on socks. That's funny. And yeah, I just doing that, and then Jordan came and we were home for an hour.
Okay. You guys are all just hanging out upstairs?
So, Tyler and I, we got home, did that for a while. Upstairs.
Okay. And Jordan was hanging with you guys too?
Eventually.
Like, when he got home, did he disappear for a while and come back, or?
This is outside. This is an outside person.
Okay. Like outside down here?
Like Jordan, Brittany claimed most of the night was filled with food, drinking, and discussion, just like they often did, until it was time for bed.
I think so. I honestly don't know for sure.
When you got in upstairs, did you do anything else or go right to bed? Make some food?
I don't think I just went to bed. I need some water.
Water and drink.
Put my phone in, put my Apple Watch in the charger, just like my normal time. Lay down in bed, got my dogs.
What?
Holding's my third.
Holding Tyler? Where were you at?
In the kitchen.
Do you remember how you got to the kitchen? So you lay down in bed with you, Tyler, and the dogs, and then the next thing that you remember, you're in the kitchen. Okay. And where was Tyler?
Lying
Do
down.
you remember how he was laying?
Oh, it's holding.
Where was he bleeding from? Okay. What was he saying?
Nothing.
Was he conscious? Did you see him still there? Okay. Were his eyes open?
Oh my god.
Did he mention anything?
I started screaming.
Okay.
And I was screaming for Jordan to fall. I'm lying.
And Jordan was there with you. Where was?
Was in his room.
Okay.
Brittany couldn't recall anything from the night, only waking up to find Tyler bleeding on the floor. But in her confusion, she let something slip. It had been just her and Tyler in the room before Jordan called the police.
You don't know how he got from bed to the living room? Huh?
No.
When you got to the living room, did you notice any other injuries on it?
Bleeding everywhere.
Did you notice any of the marks or any blood? Did you see anything that might have caused any injuries around?
I just saw a lot of blood everywhere.
Okay. Do you know if there's any firearms in the house? What kind of firearms are there?
A lot of blood.
How many? Okay. Shotguns, rifles, pistols.
Maybe 3 pistols and 3 or 4 rifles.
How often do you guys shoot?
Once. I used to go to the range.
When's the last time you get shot in the game? Or like in the range?
I guess the last time. I used to go to the range before stupid.
Alright, so long time. How long ago did you live up there?
This was 5 years.
So you don't think you've shot a gun in 5 years?
Why?
Well, it's going to take some doctor's examination, but Looks like you might have been shot. Trying to figure out how that could have happened. Do you have any ideas?
By now, the full weight of the situation was settling in, but even after learning that a gunshot wound caused Tyler's death, Brittany insisted she had done nothing to him. She had no idea that when detectives ask certain questions, they already know the answers.
You were behind him, and Tyler made the statement, call 911, she just shot. You remember that? Is there any reason why you might have said that? You think that's something that's possible? No? There's a fairly large gap in your memory. Do you remember anything else? The only part of the story that we have right now, you screaming, Jordan walking out, seeing you guys there, Tyler's already hurt, blood everywhere, there's a gun off to the side, and Tyler says, call 911, she just shot. We want to fill in these gaps. It's pretty important that we figure out exactly what happened. For everybody. I'll tell you right now, the only story that we have points to you shooting.
The physical strain of the interrogation had begun to show on Brittany's face, yet she still refused to explain what had happened in the apartment. With the interview going nowhere, detectives decided to step away and review the crime scene, a common tactic to regroup and reassess the facts. But when they returned to speak with Brittany, her story had changed completely.
Okay.
I don't know.
Where did all that take place at?
In the bed.
In the bed?
He was strangling me. And then he pushed me up against the wall. Like I was just like trying to get him off me, and I think I hit him. He tried to get up and get away, and then he grabbed me. I remember he grabbed me by my throat again, and he hit me up against the wall. That wall.
Which wall is this you're talking about when you say that?
No, like I don't know why would he ever do that to me. I don't.
So you guys are in bed.
I don't know. I don't know what started. I don't know.
Okay. Well, what do you remember?
Him strangling me. Like he was trying to kill me. My esophagus and everything.
Can you just take a look at your notes? Okay.
Up here. Everything. I remember the wall.
Okay.
Because I
Can
think
just take a look at this side of your neck?
the wall. He put me up on the wall, and my dad did that to me.
Okay. Do you remember lying in bed first, or you remember just being against the wall?
No, we were in bed. We went to sleep. Like we were fine. We cuddled. Like we have a great relationship. Like a really fucking good relationship.
Okay.
Like I just don't understand.
So when did this happen? This happened last night?
Yeah.
Okay. At what point last night did this happen?
I don't know. After I laid down. I don't know.
You laid down after...
I was sleeping already, and I woke up. I don't know. I don't know why.
Okay. So you remember being in bed with him
strangling you?
There were no handprints on her neck, nor any sign that she had been attacked, let alone strangled.
I have no idea. I just don't know. I just know that I remember not being able to breathe. And he was like crushing my esophagus.
Right. And where was he?
Like on his side of the bed, but like up.
Up like how?
He's like, I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. Remember what hand he was using?
I don't know.
Okay.
Like,
Alright. Yeah. What happened next?
I don't know. I probably was definitely screaming. I remember trying to scream because I was trying to wake Jordan up to help me.
Okay.
And I remember just screaming really loud. And he just kept doing it. He did it more than once. And like I tried to get away and go out the room, and he had followed me and pinned me up against that wall.
Which wall is this?
In my bedroom.
Even though it was surprising that she suddenly began portraying herself as the victim, the detective was willing to give her the benefit of the doubt.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know why we were fighting. I don't understand why. I don't. It doesn't make sense. Like, it just doesn't.
Well, it makes some sense. If he had just quit his job, I could see how that would be pretty stressful.
No, he's not a bad person. No. Absolutely not. No.
And more that now.
Tyler has faults, but he's not a bad person at all. Absolutely.
I'm not saying he's a bad person. He said he was in a job that he wasn't really liking. And he quit to try to find something else. But right now, nothing else is lined up. And
he's fine.
Rent is what, $3,600 a month?
He was more happy. He was more.
Yeah.
I don't know. He wasn't happy with his job at all. But he's a good human. He's the most just caring people I've ever met in my entire life.
Well, that's a lot of stress to not know how you're going to pay next month's rent. What happened?
He did that before.
He did that? How long ago was that?
4 or 5 months ago.
Okay. Did you call us?
I was able to just get away from him and go back to bed, and he just blacked out.
How did you get away from him that time?
I had pushed him off of me, and I think I scratched him on his neck or something.
Was he that drunk last night?
I thought he was gonna rip my esophagus out of my skin. He was like crushing it.
So he wasn't just pushing, he was like squeeze.
Crushing up my throat. Like I couldn't make noise or breathe at all. Like kept doing it and screaming at me like I don't even understand.
I mean, at that point, I'm doing everything I can to get away from that dude. Especially if you think that it's the point where you're passing out or you're dying.
What was surprising was that, despite accusing Tyler of strangling her, Brittany insisted he had always been good to her. Yet when detectives pressed her to explain the gap between being attacked and Tyler ending up on the floor, every answer she gave only raised more questions about her story.
Well, Tyler is this monster mode person. Doesn't sound like he's in the best mind frame to be a nice person. If he's on top of you, strangling you in the bed, and then grabbing you and holding you up against the wall by your throat, squeezing. Any reasonable person knows that that's how you kill somebody.
Yeah, he was trying to kill me. He really was. Honestly. He was trying to. And he almost did.
Sounds like it. It's to that point. That gun's on a nightstand. I can stop this right now. That's something I can understand. Something Paul can understand. That's something anybody's going to understand.
Despite the detectives' attempts, Brittany refused to explain what had happened to Tyler. However, the evidence they had gathered, along with her own conflicting statements, was all they needed to make their move.
Hey. Turn around for me. It's going to go under arrest.
After Brittany's arrest, detectives asked for answers from Tyler's friends, the people who knew the couple best. What they heard next didn't just change their understanding of the case, it changed how they saw Brittany entirely.
So his stepfather, Timothy, passed along your name and your phone number, saying that you might have known him and Brittany?
Tyler, he was my best friend.
Okay, do you have a couple minutes to chat?
Yeah.
All right. Well, how did you guys meet?
Tyler, I think we met in second grade.
Oh, wow, long time ago.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. And do you live down here in the Keys?
Yep.
Okay. And how often would you see Tyler? Yeah, I've heard about this wedding. It's popped up a couple of times. So what can you tell me about what went on there?
So I'm not a drinker. I don't drink. So Friday night, the wedding was Saturday. Friday night, you know how they do rehearsal dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So after, the rehearsal dinner, everything was good. We had dinner. They start drinking a little bit. She's really, belligerent. And we were all sitting by the pool having a good time. It was really, the first time I actually got to meet her and, talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was so drunk. I was just kind of I was sitting next to her at the pool in the lawn chairs, and I was kind of talking to her. But she was so drunk, I wasn't really paying much attention to her because she was just belligerent. And I could have sworn, so we started talking about her dad, and my buddy, Tyler, he is, I got him into hunting. Anyways, her dad has some hunting property and stuff up there, and I could have sworn she told me that, my dad's selling the property. And my buddy, a week or two before, he was all excited to go hunting. My buddy, meaning Tyler, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And, I misunderstood her. Anyways, I'm driving them home because I didn't drink at all. We had to drive back to his house. And I was talking to him in the front seat. She's passed out in the back seat. And I said, Tyler, that sucks. Her dad's selling the property. And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, yeah, I was talking to her at the pool. She said her dad's selling the property. And he reaches in the back seat and says, hey, babe, is your dad selling the property? And without hesitation, she throws a fucking left-hand hook and punches him in the face. And she says, don't ever talk about my dad. And she has no idea what we're talking about. We're not talking bad about the dad. It was like, what the f***? I got scared because I'm doing 55 mile an hour and she's throwing hooks. I thought she was going to punch me. Jesus Christ.
According to Brett, Brittany's drinking problem was more serious than most realized. He explained that Tyler wasn't someone who dated often, but he had taken a real liking to Brittany, choosing to overlook her flaws.
And then just how about how life was going? Did say he was having problems or money problems or?
So, Phil, that's the man you need to talk to is Phil. Because I guess a week before he died, he called Phil. Because Phil, he doesn't live here, and it's more of maybe he can talk to a buddy that's not here and maybe won't judge him, or I don't know. So Phil got to talk to him more the week before he died and what was going on with Brittany.
All right.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you got in the back of your head that you think's important? You need to tell somebody?
Yeah.
So here's kind of where we're at. The state attorney's office just got an email from Tyler's stepdad saying that you'd be interesting to talk to and might have some background information for us.
Yeah, I mean, me and Tyler were very close, and we've been very close. So we've lived away from each other. I was a fisherman a lot as well, so we lived away from each other for a long time. And that up until the murder happened, Tyler, we talked a lot, and I opened up a business in Indiana a few years ago, and that's what he was trying to do down there. So we talked a lot about that and, relationships as well. And I talked about my relationships to, certain people, and Tyler was one of them. And Tyler got into this relationship a little under a year with Brittany.
Mm-hmm.
And when they had their differences, Tyler didn't talk much, but he did talk to me about his relationships, as I found out afterwards that he would speak to many people about it. That week leading up, it was a Friday, I believe, that it happened.
Like Brett, Phil was quick to reveal that Brittany was a great person when sober, but turned into someone entirely different when she drank. He also told detectives that her relationship with Tyler was far from the peaceful picture she painted.
About her drinking and about Tyler wanting to better himself. And I know she had that damn app, too, which was a great idea. They both had a lot going for them, which really this whole situation is a shame. But they just, they were having their differences. And that's, Brittany lost her last relationship over drama. That's what I call it. I call it drama, craziness, everybody has that. But, it's just her drama and the involvement in her drinking. And we all thought, because her ex-boyfriend before Tyler, he drinks. So we thought that he brought out the worst in Brittany from drinking, but it was really just her drinking in general that brought out the worst in her. I don't know if that helps at all, or if that explains her a little bit better. They happened to be out on the boat that day when we got down there that day, so we checked in our hotel room, and Tyler and Brittany came and met up with us. Brittany was a sloppy mess, and we're like, Tyler, dude, this is, you guys can't go out like this,
Mm-hmm.
He's like, all right, so they went home. And Chris Jaffe, who was Tyler's old roommate, who was Brittany's ex-boyfriend, he's also a friend of mine. And we were out, and I don't go to QS often anymore, so when I do, everybody wants to meet up and hang out. So I told Tyler, I was like, listen, Jaffe is here. And I was like, you and Jaffe were great. We call him Jaffe. His name's Chris. I said, you and Jaffe were great friends. You shouldn't let, Jaffe doesn't care that you're dating Brittany. He misses you. I was like, we all just hang out together like we used to and just all be cool. And he was like, I love Jaffe, dude. He's like, the fact that Jaffe wants to hang out with me, he's like, that's great, because they had their differences when Tyler started dating her.
Mm-hmm.
So that night was the first night that, so Tyler, rewind. So Tyler was like, let me talk to Brittany about this. And I'll let you know if she's okay with it. It's all right. So he calls me. He's like, it's fine, dude. Brittany said it's cool that Jaffe wants to be cool again. Well, I'll come down there. So Jaffe was with us. Tyler and Brittany show up. We were over at wherever Raw Bar down there.
Mm-hmm.
And when Brittany sees, they walk in. When Brittany sees Jaffe, she had a blank look on her face. Tyler sees Jaffe, he's smiling, Jaffe's smiling, I was right there, they hugged each other, and it was kind of awesome that, that they were going to be friends again, they could let this go past them.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't Brittany's plan, Brittany was hoping that there was going to be some sort of scuffle or drama involved in this situation, and she got mad at Tyler for not doing anything about Jaffe being there, and Tyler obviously was like, what are you talking about when this was neutral? And I told you that we were coming down here and it was all going to be all right.
Tyler had overlooked her drama and chose to rekindle his friendship. However, Phil revealed that Brittany's unhappiness was just the tip of the iceberg.
And Tabitha and her girlfriends, and they still talk about this to this day. And I never saw this side of Brittany. And after they heard what happened, they were all like, we kind of aren't surprised by this situation because she was so nuts that night.
But over at American Rock Bar, she was like scratching and slapping Tyler, and everybody felt very uncomfortable about the situation. Later on in the night, they're like, Phil, you have blood on your shirt. And then I guess Tyler had the blood on his shirt, and my other buddy Eric, they said had the blood on his shirt too. And then they were making a joke, and they were calling her a witch, like, oh, the witch, she put blood on your guys' shirt. We didn't think anything of it. You know what I mean? I didn't, at least. But now we're kind of, as we talk about it more, we're like, wow, like that 100% could have been her doing that.
When you said that she was like scratching and slapping at him, was like a big blowout argument between them, or were they just, I don't know, sitting next to each other and she's like, I don't know.
We were standing up. It was more her yelling at Tyler. It was all because Jaffe was there. Jaffe was hanging out with us, and Tyler hugged Jaffe. She didn't want them two to be friends. And they were best friends. You know what I mean? And that's why I brought them together that night. Because we're all best friends, man. You know what I mean? Like, and she didn't like that situation at all whatsoever. So, anyways, what happened that night? Tyler texted me, and I was sleeping again. He texted me that night, and he's like, "We're done." And I called him in the morning. He was like, "Not good. We're done," or something like that. I was reading the text message not too long ago, and I called him the next morning, and he was like, "Brittany broke a bunch of shit in the house." Jordan was there for this. If you talk to Jordan about Tabitha's birthday with Phil and Tabitha being down there, he'll explain what happened that night. But she broke a bunch of stuff in the house. She wrecked the house, and she beat Tyler up pretty bad that night. And this is all over the Chris Jaffe thing. Mm-hmm. Tyler started blaming himself for it, and then that's where I kind of stepped in. I was like, Tyler, I was like, you're not in the wrong here. And he was like, I should have never met up with Jaffe. He loved her. He was obsessed with her.
Despite the red flags, Tyler stayed with Brittany. He loved her so deeply that he didn't even notice the warning signs, doing everything he could to make their relationship work.
And, she had a Catahoula. He loves Catahoulas. It was just, Tyler had a big heart, man, and we all went down to the Keys to celebrate his life, and we're all sitting down there. Tyler worked on my boat and lived with me in my house in Maine for 3 months, the whole summer. And I was like, just asking everybody, I was like, does anybody have one argument that you remember ever being with Tyler? Like, anybody, because I started thinking about it, and I've known him for the past 12 years. And, these are people I've known him his whole life. And I was like, has anybody ever had one argument? He was just non-confrontational. He never got into a fight, even if people were fighting around him. I just never seen him fight or, get confrontational. And he loved her, and he wanted to make it work. So I think he hid a lot of, her downfalls and her problems and what happened behind closed doors. He hid it for a while. I just think that it was coming to an end. Like, when someone just says enough is enough. And I know that the drinking up to that week, her just wasn't good. And that night, I could only imagine what happened in that bedroom with the broken beer bottle and the blood.
You'd mentioned a DJ. Who is DJ?
DJ lived down the street from them. DJ Wood.
However, that wasn't the only time Tyler's friends confirmed that no one had anticipated things would end in such a shockingly tragic way.
He worked for me on and off for years. I was with him the day before. I was one of the first people there after. I cleaned up a lot of the mess. I'm the one who found the gun, figured out that the gun was downstairs in the car at 99 percentile. I don't know Brittany very well. I just assumed she was a good person because I thought Tyler was such a good person, I was never around them a ton. I did talk to him a little bit about their relationship, but not extensively. I think they were generally happy, but I think she had a major problem when she drank. And no control whatsoever.
Were you ever around her when they were drinking? Or when she was drinking?
I personally was not, but I heard numerous stories, and I heard stories from him. His dog Chief and him just needed a day to themselves, and it was definitely because he'd been arguing with her, and he just was, taking a step away. I don't really know exactly what it was about. I know that she had fallen and hit her head like 3 days prior to him. You know, I just kind of kept my distance from her. I figured anyone who dated Chris, he wasn't the greatest, but I just, you know, respected that Tyler chose her as his girlfriend, and therefore I was nice to her.
Were you at a wedding for another one of their buddies, Jeff Wright?
No, I was not at the wedding, but I heard that it was a show with her afterwards, but I was not.
According to John, a longtime friend and employer of Tyler, just days before his death, Tyler had confided that he was planning to take a break from the relationship. He had simply grown tired of Brittany's behavior. But what truly shook John was what he witnessed when he went to the apartment after the incident.
And I had already walked past the car and looked into the car and saw that the purse was wide open on the passenger seat. I was like, holy, you know, like it was pretty obvious that she had ran down there and grabbed her gun out of her purse. Car unlocked, purse tipped over. Looked like she pretty hastily ran down there and grabbed it.
When you say tipped over, you're like laying on its side or like upside down?
Laying on its side with like a third of its contents out on the seat.
Okay. And you would take that to mean like somebody was rummaging through it fast?
I would assume so. You know, I mean, obviously she had gone to... He said she always kept it in the center, like in the center of her car there. So it looked to me that she had gone down there, opened the passenger door, grabbed her purse from the center, pulled it to the seat, tipped it over, grabbed her gun, and proceeded back upstairs, I would assume.
Okay, all right. And did you tell Jordan about that?
Yeah, Jordan was there. He knew about that.
All right, you saw that as well?
Yeah, that was my girlfriend was with us as well. Absolutely 100% on Tyler's side on this, which speaks volumes of, you know, like if the parents come and are just absolutely like, oh my God, what did she do now? They called her Hurricane Brittany, was the words her own father used. And she said she finally came and ruined paradise, came down here and destroyed something. He was just disgusted with her without even knowing really anything. I was kind of shocked by parents of someone coming and being completely on the other side, you know, not even questioning, you know, just like that was shocking to me.
All right.
Like they didn't even seem surprised, you know, it was just like, they were just like, she did it this time, you know.
Yeah, I got you.
That was like, holy shit, you know. And then also there was a whole file cabinet in the house of like past police problems of hers. So I think you can look into her like juvenile record, and there's all sorts of stuff. I mean, just probations and aggravated batteries, and we didn't really look through it, but it was like a file cabinet, and it was labeled, like just reading across the labels, it was like, damn, she has a history that I don't think anyone was aware of.
All right, man. I'll tell you, we're going to pass all this to the state attorney's office. Someone's going to reach out to you at some point. It's probably not going to be particularly soon, and this process...
It was a brutal revelation about the kind of person their best friend had been with all along. Not only was their 9-month relationship falling apart, but when the detective spoke to one more person, he learned something that changed everything.
Looking to get some extra background to put their case together. And your name has popped up a couple of times of people that...
Key West, I did not know Brittany very well. I had only met her, I think, 1 or 2 previous times briefly, and it was all close to the date, you know, that she murdered him. Mm-hmm. And I had hung out with her that week, really close. I think it was within a few days of the incident happening.
Uh-huh.
And sorry if you can't hear me. I'm in the car, so if it breaks up a little bit, I apologize.
Yeah, no worries.
But I'm not driving. I'm a passenger. Mm-hmm. And I thought we were going to walk there, but she came and picked me up in the car. And we went to Babalu's, and it was dead. So we were like, oh, we don't really want to go there. And she kind of wanted to go downtown. But when we started driving down the road, I realized that she was really f***ed up. She was definitely intoxicated. And I don't like that, so I realized I was actually texting my boyfriend, and I have the messages and stuff about how uncomfortable I was and didn't. She loved Tyler, he saved her life. she was so happy to be with him. She was kind of hanging all over me, almost trying to like kiss me, just very intoxicated behavior. The bartenders were kind of laughing. I was laughing, saying, okay, we're going to go home now. And Tyler picked us up. She left her car there overnight. And when we were walking back, I was so happy to see him. And we were walking in like the parking lot area, and she ran and jumped on his back, like being playful, trying to jump on him, but he almost fell because, we didn't know it was coming. She was like a raging bull, like went and jumped on him. He almost fell over and was like, oh, come on, Britt, remember, you did that before, and you almost, I fell on my face or something. And then she got really pissed off and was like, excuse my language, and she was punching him in the arm and calling him saying, come on, you can't like pick me up and stuff. And I was like, I was trying to make it funny because it was uncomfortable. I was like, everyone's gay in Key West, so we're fine, like making jokes. And Tyler was laughing, I was laughing. And we finally got Brittany in the car. She sat in the front seat, and I walked around. I gave Tyler a hug, and I was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, I'm not, drunk. I'm not intoxicated.
The autopsy revealed that Tyler had suffered serious injuries to his face, head, and neck. All evidence that Brittany had brutally attacked him, not the other way around. Tyler's friends all knew she had a history of violence towards him, and he never fought back. But that wasn't the only thing that happened the night she was with Marissa.
That, they would get physical fights and that they would grab each other's eyeballs. And she showed me, like, with her thumb and her fingers on her face, like the eyeball squeezing. She said that she told me she had stabbed him one time. And I was like, you stabbed him, or like you wanted to stab him? And she was like, oh no. She's like, and next time I'll stab him. She said that she would do it like, she was doing the stabbing like with her arm. This was at Hogfish Bar. She was doing like the jabbing, stabbing motion, and she was like, and I would go, like in and I would go all the way up, like to his neck is what she said. I'm trying to think of the exact words, but she was gonna, she's like, I'd go all the way up and like kill him. And I just remember thinking, you're being so psychotic and aggressive about this. You haven't even dated him, and we had just hung out, and she, like, like all of that happening so close to when I hung out with her was just freaky, that she was so messed up and so hateful towards Chris, but then murdered Tyler. Like, it didn't make sense. But I almost thought if she was in a psychotic rage, maybe she was picturing kill Tyler or something. Like, it was weird. I know that Tyler, he had squashed like their beef.
The evidence spoke volumes. Tyler's final words, combined with the forensic findings and the absence of any physical injury supporting Brittany's self-defense claim, made the truth undeniable. On February 24th, 2025, Brittany was found guilty of second-degree murder. The jury reached its verdict in under an hour, and she was sentenced to 40 years in prison, with the first 25 years to be served without the possibility of early release. Although nothing can undo what happened to Tyler, hopefully his family can take comfort in knowing how deeply he was loved. A good man whose memory lives on in the hearts of everyone who knew him. If you enjoyed our production, make sure to subscribe, and don't forget to watch the next one.